Hey guys, this will be for the dirt and worms activity. But before we do that, I want to read from where we left off yesterday. Eve picked the fruit and ate some, and Adam ate some too. And a terrible lie came into the world. It would never leave. It would live on in every human heart, whispering to every one of God's children, God doesn't love me. And it wasn't a dream, it was a nightmare. A dove flew from Adam's hand. A deer darted in a thicket. It was as if they were frightened by something. A chill was in the air. Something strange was happening. They had always been naked, but now they felt naked and wrong, and they didn't want anyone to see them, so they hid. Later that evening, as God was taking his walk, he called to them, "Children?" Usually, Adam and Eve loved to hear God's voice and would run to him, but this time they ran away from him and hid in the shadows. "Where are you?" God called. "Hiding," Adam said. "We're afraid of you." "Did you eat the fruit I told you not to eat?" God asked them. Adam said, "Eve made me do it." "What have you done?" God asked. Eve said, "The serpent made me do it." And terrible pain came into God's heart. His children hadn't just broken the one rule, they had broken God's heart. They had broken their wonderful relationship with him, and now he knew everything else would break. God's creation would start to unravel and come undone and go wrong. From now on, everything would die, even though it was all supposed to last forever. You see, sin had come into God's perfect world, and it would never leave. God's children would be always running away from him and hiding in the dark. Their hearts would break now and never work properly again. God couldn't let his children live forever, not in such pain, not without him. There was only one way to protect them. "You will have to leave the garden now," God told his children, his eyes filling with tears. This is no longer your true home. It's not the place for you anymore." But before they left the garden, God made clothes for his children to cover them. He gently clothed them, and then he sent them away on a long, long journey out of the garden, out of their home. Well, in another story, it would all be over, and that would have been the end. But that's not the end, and we will learn more and finish that tomorrow. So, for dirt and worms, we'll get your plate, and then we'll get everything out. The first thing we'll start with is your cup. So, in your cup, you'll get one of the Oreos and place it on the bottom. And then you'll get your spoon. Well, first, if you hadn't already noticed, there is some candy. And you need one of the sea monster of sin and one of, this is supposed to be like a boat, but there's an extra, so you can eat it. So, next, we'll open up the pudding. You can lick it or you can put it in the trash. And we'll get a scoop and put it in the bottom. It'll go right on top of the Oreo. I'm gonna get a little bit more. All right, next, we're gonna leave the Oreos in the bag, make sure it's kind of closed, and we're gonna crush them. They don't have to be super crushed, just enough. So now we're just gonna pour a little bit out for the first layer. There we go. And then we're gonna keep layering with the Oreos and the pudding until you run out of each. The Orioles is kind of like jagged rock from the shipwreck. So now we're gonna put your boat in first. I'm gonna do it kind of all lopsided in the sea. And then you have your sea monster of sin on top of the boat attacking it. I think it's even better if you leave it in the refrigerator, or you can eat it right now.